ready?
Are we ready?
Shall we start?
We are.
Great.
I like how you started
Go.
us off. Hi, guys. This is a nice question.
Okay.
Let us
Is
hear
it about...
No, I wish it was. I wish it was about beep, but it's not. What is art? What is art?
Nice.
Okay.
Da.
That's a tricky one.
Very nice to think about. I mean, you were talking about the greatest stat by India.
Hi. Don't invite Adora to a party.
Okay, if you had to ask me what is art, I feel like it's just a form of expressing yourself creatively, without boundaries or stuff. It's literally just you putting yourself down in whatever medium that you feel is comfortable for you to express yourself, be it now video, photography, drawing. Art is basically anything, weaving is it weaving? What do you call this? Knitting. Is it knitting?
You can weave as well.
Yeah, knitting.
Knit and crochet.
Yeah, basket weaving and stuff. So it's basically a process of creating and just you expressing yourself in whatever I think platform you feel is,
True.
your thing.
Now, for me, I always say art is like the universal language that people just refuse to see because there's nothing that we do as human beings that isn't art.
Yeah.
If you're writing, you're drawing basically. Like those symbols that you're creating, it's your specific, no one else can write like you. No one can speak the way you do. You're manipulating sounds to create art that people understand in a learning capacity. It's like everything we do is artistic.
Yeah.
There's nothing about you that's not art.
Yeah.
This table setup, it's art.
art.
You dressing the way you just styled yourself, that's art.
It's
Everything we do, I'm a hair technician for myself.
Presentation.
Everything is art. So I'm like, what is art? Art is the ability to be alive. Anything that's alive is art, in my opinion.
I think for me, art is important.
Ooh.
Art is everything. But I think first of all, it's important because it is, like you said, it's universal. Like you said, it is an expression. It is, I think it's therapy. I think it's mental well-being. I think it's physical. It's everything. It is important for me. Straight up, art is important.
To me, art is a blank canvas.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's where you can put all those expressions, where you can put all those baskets you weave, where you can put all those techniques for doing hair onto something that's never existed again.
Yeah.
It's where you can put your artistic self out there and have other people view through their eyes as what they see as art, the therapy, the healing.
Yeah.
It's a blank canvas. It's where it all begins. It's where you go and scribble
Yeah.
the lyrics, like you said. It's
What do you wanna
and
do?
then when you've got something out there on, I'm getting goosebumps. This is art.
That's art
It's
right
where
there.
you go and put your goosebumps. It's where you go and put your goosebumps. So for me, it's very important to be able to have that blank canvas in order to create and build and look back and say, I created this. That for me.
I can't even imagine a life without art, to be honest.
Facts.
Because I feel like I think you summed it up for me. It is the beginning of everything.
True.
It is the blank canvas, and we gotta do this.
That's
and
right.
how, I mean, I'd look at movies and I'm just like, how do people even think this piece
Where does
of
it come
painting
from,
is
man?
nice? I'm just like, well, but that is somebody's, work of art,
exactly.
and they know what they wanted to communicate, and those who it resonates to.
And next time when you said that art is everything, I kind of like how art is not just personal, subjective, but also very universalist, in a sense that you're able to approach and confront so many things. You can send messages, like you're talking about films now. Why was that film written? It's either to entertain, trying to confront a certain situation, type of, political reasons or whatever, propaganda. There's so many ways that you could utilize art. Music, you find jive music just for vibes, doesn't really have to send a message. It's
And that's
just
the
a
thing
vibe,
that's the thing about art. Like, it's an expression itself. The artist does not need to be there to explain their project. When there's a painting of a Himba woman and it's sent over to China, the Chinese don't understand what's going on there. So, but when they see it, they should be able to feel it, sense it, and be able to tell their story. And that's the art. You're going to make
own
a song,
interpretations of it.
whatever you create your videos and you send it out into the world. Yes, you can put a caption, but you don't want a long, draggy story about what's this. My friend, the art must just capture the soul. That's why when music, if it's not your language, you understand it.
Just get it.
It's been expressed. It's done
Honestly.
come through from the inside.
I'm living for this. I'm like, Shay is here giving us the gospel of art today.
Art is deep.
But I think overall it's deep and it's very personal to each person.
Yes.
Because we have so many different forms of art. And like you guys said, I mean, you don't always need to understand it, but the feeling. And you know, it brings me to something that my dad taught me from being a kiddo. He's like, you know, music should be so good for those who don't understand it. They should feel it. You know, the feeling.
Yeah, music is one of the strongest. She's like the head girl of art. Like whenever we have to like say
head of department.
She's department head. She's sitting there. Come in the office. The DOP like, hi, it's me, the director of arts. The other girls are here too, acting, dance, but it's me, the vocals.
The most common as well. But I think one thing that I also kind of like about it is like I think it allows us to empty in a sense because like, every time you create, it's not just like new ideas, but you come back again to the empty canvas and it's like, okay, cool. It's not a thing of like, it's not always a continuation of what you have. It's a constant telling of new stories.
It's developing,
as you are putting out, you are building up.
True.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As you are laying down, you are, because you keep going empty, you keep on creating, you keep pushing out, you keep unpacking, and yet outside you're building.
I don't know. This is art. We shouldn't even talk about what is art anymore. Let's go to the next one because I feel like the whole conversation will just end with what is art.
No
way.
Do artists have the power to shape or destroy a society?
Yes.
And how?
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
I'm not one of those questions.
Oh,
and how? For 25 marks.
Yes, for 25 marks.
25 marks,
oh my
no right or wrong.
gosh. Oh, yes. I feel, absolutely. Art shapes our minds.
True.
From generation to generation, society, what's been mainstream, what's being put out there, what children are taking in. Those are things that are forming you as a human being, forming your future and shaping us. And that's why it's so important to put the right content, the right context, the right stories, the right narrative out there because we are in such powerful spaces as creatives that we are shaping minds. It's scary.
Do you think that's why?
Scary.
And that's why it's banned in most
exactly.
journalism.
Taliban on BBC, Taliban just banned TikTok. Because and some movies because of the content that's being put out there. And it's not necessarily to say that children if you see art, somebody is twerking. Look, because it's kids, they are going to repeat what they see. They're going to do what they see. But now, if you have an environment where you can teach your child that that is not the most that you can be, you can be better than that, then your child will learn to appreciate those different forms of art and not necessarily attach themselves to it. There needs to be that fine line. And I believe that comes from the places we come from.
But like, I would even say like to a degree, like it's something that artists need to be conscious of. Because what you're putting, I know a lot of artists have this thing where they say like, I'm not your parent, those kids are your kids, so I'm not responsible.
That's your problem.
But you are responsible as an artist. Like right now with the drag artistry, like really taking like up space in Namibia and like changing up the conversation about like what is like acceptable. And when you look at a woman wearing a dress, then you automatically say this is a woman. Like it's like literally consciously deconstructing what like the cis hetero world said is normal. And that's like, we are tackling topics and we're politically deconstructing what was said is the norm. That is something that's very powerful. And an artist that does music, that does dance, that does anything that has influence on young minds and isn't conscious of how they're molding or shaping that, it's dangerous. It's messed up.
And then you get, we are the conservative people, and then you get the international artists who just come and say, but that is still okay. And now where do you strike the balance, for example? But I think it comes to exposing your kids at a young age. I mean, of course, you wouldn't want them to be exposed to certain things, to get to know things too young. But guys, we're getting into a generation where technology is everything.
I mean, our 12-year-olds have phones in their hands.
It's just at the tap of a finger. So I think it boils down to each person really instilling what they want their child to think is right and wrong, although they're exposed so much. But to get back to the question, definitely. I think we are the key role in influencing what society thinks and how society develops.
We're the campfire. People come to us like when they want to sit and listen to stories. They come to
We're
artists.
trendsetters. And that's the thing. You're a trendsetter, and it's what what you're expressing as your art. Look, it's beautiful to say my body is beautiful, my body is a work of art. But there's a fine line. How much of your body and in what angle are you showing us your body? Go, what does your caption say? Go, what is it in the message? What are we trying to get here? Okay, that's one of the things I ponder about.
And coming back to being responsible, and say coming back to responsible consumerism, you know, say or I don't know. You guys are probably aware of this guy. I watched like a botched episode this other day. There's this white dude that literally spent millions and millions of dollars trying to look like Superman. You know?
Botched.
Exactly. And that goes back to the type of content. You know.
Oh, shame.
So and for me that kind of really just shows how strong narrative art is, you know, what you decide to put out, you being responsible. And here's a guy who has dedicated his whole life and money to looking like a fictional character. So
there's more. There's one that's busy trying to look like Barbie. There's another one trying to look like Ken.
All of them.
Exactly. So trends. So trends. I think all those goes back to to trends. You know, so it's we as creatives now or artists and stuff, we need to be able because. You find weak minds and you find people that are true to themselves, you know. So it's a thing of like, are you putting out a character, say a weak, say perhaps now a weak mind, say does now want to assume to be that character? Is it, you know, what's the right word that I'm looking for? You know,
I hear what you're saying though, because. Is it your self-esteem? You have no confidence. You don't believe in yourself so much that you want to look like Superman because the world believes in Superman and accepts
like you have an
Superman.
impressionable mind.
So again, back to the environment. What are we giving our children that shapes them? Where do we draw the line? Must we make our children feel like what you're seeing is content on social media, people's art, that's what you must be over? Are you supposed to be Superman or what? While you can just be Sky Mathew, the man. You know what I'm saying?
You're man.
No, it's true. Art is a very powerful influence of our society, and it does because there are weak minds and there are strong minds.
I think just to close off this one, I think for me personally, you know, a lot of times when there's a political agenda, when there's information that needs to go out to people, they put creatives in the forefront.
To run
I think the question here should be, do they appreciate creatives enough?
Not even that. Do creatives take themselves seriously enough
Enough.
to be
appreciated?
But I think there's like a really...
It's a fine line.
Wait a second. But
really...
it's a very fine line. But how many years do you have to work hard as a creative to finally...
Trust me.
And Rome wasn't built in a day, mind you. But every time you present your art, you keep proving yourself. You keep showing yourself. It's when you blunder and fall.
Yes.
That's when
because they're waiting, because everyone is
waiting for you to fall. You will wait long.
That's it.
It's a long way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to be sure when I grow up. She's my superwoman.
Yes, a long way.
I think we're ready for the next one.
Watch that come out. She's like, yes.
We're ready for the next one. Let's go.
Okay, cool.
Hi, the silence.
Don't read alone and then only read it. I don't like that.
Okay, cool.
Suspense.
Okay, this one is, how can you and other Namibians contribute more to art?
Oh, there's so much more we can do.
Okay, I think to rephrase that in a sense is, what does Namibia need in this case? You know, in order for us to be able to contribute society-wise, like where are we as a nation?
Can I just come in there? To be honest, first we need to unite.
Yeah.
There's a problem for me personally, and I don't know, I'm sure in different areas of the creative industry, I'm sure you also feel the same. Daar is nie unity nie, ons werkie saam om te sê dis ons common goal nie. Either the one is too hungry or the other one is too selfish or the other one is too self-centered, that there's not that balance striked across the board to allow us to step up to the plate. That's just my personal stance.
Mentality here.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that hurts. The fact that we are, in our minds, we're thinking people are out to get us. We're not united enough. This person doesn't want to work with me. Why are we limiting ourselves? Why? Why are we thinking that because Namibia, we're in the southwest coast of Africa, our population is one of the smallest on the African, why are we limiting ourselves?
Yeah.
Why do we not have that belief that we can do anything that can transcend borders and oceans? If we can tap into that part of our mind and live on that mottos, my friend, we are done.
And I guess it has to come back and boil
you
down
are
to
too.
what am I going to do to contribute? Yeah. So I think for me personally, to start off with, it's always been like that. I'd always wanted to bring across my message in whatever I do. Whether I dance, just minus the clothes, eh? it's just minus what I wear on stage. But in my music, I think for me personally, I would continue to spread the word, positive change, positive affirmations, because honestly, there's just so much we have to do that we need to accept that we can't fix everything, at once. So one thing at a time, and I think I'm convinced that even with the little lyric, one word that I'll change in my song, I think it will impact 1 or 2 people at least, and that I think it will eventually snowball and. We can help contribute to make things better.
I just want to lift that statement for you to say that there are songs of yours that I've listened to that have really made me rethink.
Thank you.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
And even just that shift is already you creating that ripple effect because you've influenced one human being that will change for the next human being that will share that message with the next human being, and that's how it is. Yeah. And you've got this power, and you've realized and you've built around that. Now it's a matter of pushing that one forward. It's sorry if they didn't get the message. Sorry if the next person did not figure it out. It's not your story.
And I guess it brings me back to also the constant fight in boardrooms for artists. We need to accept that we're not having these fights on different levels for us. It is for the next generation, so that the next creative that's born now
doesn't have to do that.
Doesn't have to deal with all
we're
of
building
that.
the bridges so that what we faced when we were coming up isn't your narrative.
And can I just add to that? Because again, us as creatives or artists now contributing to art boils back to the stand of like when I asked, where is society at a point? So you need to really know yourself well as an artist to know what branch do I want to endeavor in a sense, because we don't really have a lot of people to look up to in a lot of aspects. Film, there are like very few people, either they don't have time to mentor you enough or whatsoever. So most of the time it's a thing of you really trying to build yourself and you having to keep your focus and basically, okay, die is wat ek nou wil doen, ek wil hierdie pad vat. But I think most of the artists are here. They're still trying to figure out where they want to be. And by the time you somewhat want to figure out where you want to be, either you're out of time or you don't really have that much time to make an impact. And I feel that's what our generation now is faced with, trying to establish that platform where we have the next generation look up to us and say, okay, I want to go into presenting. We know Shay is the person to go to. She can mentor you. She can do that. Now, who is Shay looking up to? You get what I mean?
That's the thing. For 2 things. Firstly, isn't it funny how far we throw ourselves to go and find ourselves while we are right here?
Yeah.
I just want to
you go jump in the deep sea.
You're looking for yourself in other people, looking for yourself in mentors and whatnot. Hanakam, you are just here, which brings you back to authenticity. Your art being authentic, yours. Each and every single one. Somebody said around the table that we are each given this one thing, and that's your thing. Right? Look, I wasn't mentored. How? I don't know. I had to find myself most now. And when I found myself, I was like, but girl, you are standing out like thumb. Work on that skill there. Scratch and chisel yourself. I don't know how to tell. I can't tell you how to be me.
Okay, but then the position that you're able to put yourself in now, you've grasped so much experience that you're not. So
now I must take out my contact network list. Let me send you to who she will be able to get your vocals right. Let me send you to who she will be able to help you to script. And all these things I had to do myself. I had to volunteer, number one. Throw myself out into the experience, be bitten, drown, and save myself.
But how long did it take you? Not necessarily to say that you need to mentor the people, but it's a thing. But it's a thing.
I'm still working. It's an everyday process.
It's an everyday process. But now there's a platform where future artists can come and you can tell them about the industry and say this is the best way to go about it.
We can definitely share.
Because our industry is very different. Our industry is very differently structured from other industries. There's certain ways, corners and stuff that you have to take for you to be able to get, not to necessarily to say that you have to help them say get their best vocals or blah blah, but like teach them how do you get into the music business rather than just being in the music.
Exactly. That's a good question.
There are very few people that are
come in there.
Should I be a social?
I'm
influencing?
I don't agree with me. Like Shay said, and I have to pull out all my contacts and be like, go to who, go to. I don't agree with that because the most important thing is to find yourself. I'm not going to be there to be like, no, Hanakam, you don't like pink, but you're just there to pretend like you like pink. You actually like green. No, I'm not going to be that person. And honestly, the way we went about things, we had to work 100 times harder to get where we are.
Not only because we're females, number one.
Guy!
You were competing with men who are getting the opportunities all the time. And also, don't forget, you're only as good as your last gig. Nobody remembers anything you did before that. Nobody's going to recall anything you do after that. It was the last moment they saw you. So that is an opportunity for you to sell yourself. From the moment you get it, take it, Baba, eat it.
But see, I'm sorry, Adora, to jump in, but like my whole narrative, like on what we're saying now is like, I have this saying that I always say, it's like, don't water the garden of entertainment, but the forest of entertainment. Because if you're watering your garden alone, how is that going to feed more than just you and the people that live on that property?
Again, ripple effect.
And that's the thing. But it comes to the point where go to the forest, take what you need, grow what you need, and anything else, return it. It's that selfish notion of energy where you're like, I need to keep everything. But at the same time, when it comes to a contact list or like a database that you've built, you built that and you appreciate that and you respect that. To just give that willy-nilly and willingly to anyone, it removes that essence of like, you need to work hard to be here.
Can I just say,
this craft is so important.
I don't have a database. I don't have an archive. I don't have
you
a black
no
notebook.
Rolodex.
No, I don't. I'm in their Rolodex, okay?
Yes,
I'm in the Rolodex all over. So I don't have one.
They call me.
I think it reminds me of, for example, if you're unable to do a job and you recommend someone and they just
embarrassed.
But you did the right thing by recommending somebody, giving somebody.
The next time you want to recommend, you're just like, oh.
Adora is not the girl to get recommendations from. Because when she recommends.
Of even you yourself, you feel like if I recommend this person and if they mess up, then they mess up your reputation.
So
you understand?
You.
So, I want to disagree with that. Serving them on a silver platter.
Because
the authenticity and originality, we are so rich as a nation.
True.
To first we need to feed from who we are, our identity. Because that is the first thing I tell people when they come to me, Adora, I want to be in the industry. I'm just like, find yourself. And that is all I'm saying. You go do with what I told you, what you want. But the most important thing is identity. Sal ek trots op 'n stage stand met 'n namarok. I probably wouldn't because I'll be less famous than everybody else.
Would I feel less of myself if I'm not wearing a wig on stage? Would I feel, and it's not about just going back to, oh, these are the talents I have. No, Baba. It's going back to your childhood. It's retrospection. It's about going back to your mental state. Why you think the way you think. Why am I not confident? Can I work on that? It's a whole chisel and build from the inside to the outside to then the craft. It's deeper because when you do step into the showbiz and entertainment and artistic spaces, I'm telling you, people are eating at your ego. It's you have made yourself vulnerable by putting your heart out there through music, by putting your work out there through your art, by putting your soul out there and exploiting yourself to people. You got to be strong when those moments come when people say she's not the best, or she is the best, or she can't do this and she can. You got to be able to take it all, and that's how you survive, Baba. That's how you keep building yourself stronger.
For sure. I think that is definitely something for a lot of people to think about and to sleep on. And
read it to us one more time. Read it one more time, just so we can all feel it in our
How can you and
palates.
other Namibians contribute more to art?
I have so much to say.
Find yourself.
Are we ready for the last one?
Let's get into it.
How about
now?
Now we need money, man. We need some money, man. We need some mad guap. Somebody got money. We know exactly what to do with it. Give us the damn money.
Give us the money.
We need the money. That's what we
want
need now.
the money. I think it starts now. It doesn't start tomorrow, because tomorrow's not even guaranteed. But
Yeah, it's not.
if I usually go back when I do those self-introspections and I look back at my journey, I always ask my questions. If you don't live another day, what will people say of who you were?
What's
Who
your
were
legacy?
you?
Yeah.
What's your legacy?
Yeah.
You know? And that just takes me back every time to what I had to go through and endure.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know what, guys? I've struggled enough.
Yeah.
I've fought enough. I've proven myself enough. All I'm going to do is keep putting in the work now. Not tomorrow, not the day after. No.
Like now.
Yeah.
I think that question should be, why not now? You know, because it's really like she said, you are judged, from your last project presentation or gig or whatsoever. So tomorrow is not really guaranteed.
Yeah.
So I feel like we as artists really need to stop being in this whole vibe of like, and then select that and that more doen. Volgende man wil ek dit and that doen. It's just a thing of like, you have the idea now, why not just put it out now?
Yeah.
She looks like she has a lot
She is literally
to
like,
say.
she
She's
is like a professor. She's like, you another red chat. I'm about to shut it down. Shut it down.
No, I'm listening to you guys, and everything that you're saying is resonating inside. And I can't help but, you know me, Mos, I'm so animated. I can't hide anything. And I'm just thinking, but it is now.
Yes.
That's all I'm thinking.
Fact.
I'm thinking, now is the time. That everything that I'm doing in this moment is reflecting on what's going to be happening next. I'm building up to that next now moment again.
Yeah.
It is now. The time is now.
always in the now.
You're building
we
up
are
to it again.
in the now.
Yes.
It's not about the how about it. Yes, it is now. The time is now.
It is
Why not
already
now?
It is
Because
already.
everything you have right
Everything.
now, everything that you've got, everything that you've achieved as an artist, it's only happened because you said to yourself, how about now?
Exactly.
Every single time I've achieved
Exactly.
anything for myself, because it's never been about anyone else. It's always been about, what does 5-year-old me want? What did I envision? What did I dream about? And when you sit down and you're like, how about now? If I try it now, what would happen? What could happen? That's the only time you're actively doing the things.
Yeah.
It's when you start to do it. It's when you ask yourself, no, as I get no, doing what? Just
first
go.
just do
like
it.
now
Just
is your
do it.
chance. Now is your moment. Because if you're gonna wait, someone else is gonna do it.
Yeah.
Someone else is gonna take that opportunity. And it's a
your
thing
guy.
because you are not. I have this saying that I always say to people. I'm like, we're a series of probabilities come together. That means that you are uniquely ordinary.
Yeah.
You are unique. You are like, no one exists like you, but everyone is unique. That makes you ordinary. You're uniquely ordinary. So stop thinking that you're this amazing main character that no one else will take.
And everything should be
everyone can do it. Anyone can do what you are doing. Do it now.
Just not the way you do it.
Yeah.
Fact.
Yeah.
So
That's the way they do
So
it.
do you
You know how many
now.
times do you just sit back and you're just like, sure, I was just supposed to do it
Ne?
then.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
And then I am again the kind of person who's just
Isn't that
like,
every day?
but that is spilled milk now. What did I do about it? And what can I do about it
Period.
now? I think the most important thing here for me is step out of that comfort zone.
Yes.
Step out of that calm mode,
Comfort is a
hibernating
killer.
mode, and
Challenge
just go for
yourself.
it. Yeah.
Because you're the only one that can motivate
No, absolutely, absolutely. Guys, I don't know about you, but I feel like we should do this all over again. So just flip your cards.
Like,
We start again.
Okay, Baba,
Thank you guys so much. It was so nice though.
I like this. This was a move.
I feel like this is the kind of platform that we should, that we are on neutral grounds.
Yes.
Everybody in their own right, in their own art, excelling wherever.
Yes.
I admire what you're doing. I even want to cry because I feel like you are shaping the future for my nieces and nephews.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shay, you were the black girl.
voice.
Yeah.
You were the flower in that garden
With
that
my
just stood
All
out,
Star.
and I was like, I want to be like Shay.
Yeah, with my
and
All Star babe.
and
Yeah.
look at me now.
Yeah.
I'm in I'm right behind. Maybe not there, Mara. You said 2 kilometers. In your footsteps.
Say 15.
Yeah. 15 years. And now imagine, I can never catch up to your years of experience.
But eventually, you get there. Yeah.
Absolutely. You, guy, you have a lot of work
I have a lot of work. If anything,
Because I feel like you are in an industry that really pushes further with one go than most of us, and you need to keep doing that.
Yeah, if anything I have learned or reprinted today is a thing, that is that you are uniquely ordinary in your own right, and you need to do it now, whatever it is that you're going to have to do. Nobody else will be able to do it the same way that you can, and your ideas, what you bring to the table
They didn't even put
matters.
tissues here, guys.
Come into that kind of a show, like,
But it was really great.
But Adora, wait.
Oh, sorry.
You had this wonderful moment to tell the three of us now.
Yes.
So let's just quickly go to you.
Aye.
Tell me, representation matters.
Thank you so
It
much.
matters so much.
Thank you.
And the fact that you can identify it in other individuals is because you need to identify it in yourself, because we can see it. And there are young people that sit down and look at you, each of us, and says, what you're doing is what I want to do, because you look like me, you sound like me, you come from where I come from.
And you tell my story.
And you're telling my story now.
Yeah.
You are telling my artistic story now. You are politically changing it now. You are going and you're adding with all the other Namibians, because you're not here being selfish about your pie. You're not in. You're doing
you so
something there that is really shaping the future for everyone. The bridges that are being built consciously and unconsciously.
Thank you so
Salute.
much, guys.
We are.
you.
Yo, can we do this again? Please. Crew, please put us on
Round
again.
two.
Actually, we're not hungry.